What's up YouTube? Welcome to part 2 of LLL's Roster Rundown 2018. Today we have one of the staple franchises of NALCS, Cloud9. C9 has been a household name ever since they made it into LCS with the original Quantic 5. They won multiple championships with the said roster, but eventually they went their separate ways, and the only player left standing from that original 5 roster is Sneaky. This year, C9 replaced two very extremely capable players in Impact and Contracts with Svenskeren and Licorice, and it has the majority of the community really worried and disappointed with their roster swap this split. So, without further ado, let's take a closer look at C9's new roster for 2018 spring. Initial thoughts. The 3 players from C9's 2017 roster carrying over are extremely solid in my opinion. Sneaky, Smoothie, and Jensen are either the best players in their roles or at the very worst, top 2. Smoothie, in my opinion, is the best support in NA. It's not Ole, it's not Aframu, it's Smoothie. Smoothie's a shot caller, plays every single support, roams, lanes well, he teamfights well, he's the complete package. Jensen, while it's hard to say he's the best mid because he has such a stiff competition in Bjerg, is at the very worst, top 2. And for those of you guys that always underrated Sneaky or thought Sneaky to be a tier 2 AD, I think you guys are pretty much silenced after his performance in Gauntlet and his performance at Worlds. So the new additions to C9, Licorice and Svenskeren, that's where there's some doubt. Licorice was a standout player on E United, but anytime they had to play versus GCU, we smacked them. And whenever he had to play versus bottom tier LCS teams, he didn't have the best performance. But playing on a worse team versus better teams, there's definitely going to be a detrimental effect in how you can perform. So I think it's very naive to judge him for those performances, and he definitely showed some bright moments, and I think it's really clear that he's a promising player with a lot of upside. For Sven, I actually think the community underrates him so much, and everyone just has his last year's World performance engraved into his head. Svenskeren is a 3-time NA champion. He was a workhorse for TSM for the last 2 years he's been with them. And for the 2016 Worlds, I would say he was probably their best player. I think on a fresh team, Sven is actually going to flourish. He's a very aggressive jungler with tons of experience and great mechanics, so you guys should give him a second shot. Let's go over some of the strengths of this roster. To be completely honest, most of their strength is going to be from the 3 players carrying over from 2017. Sneaky and Jensen are going to be a terrible backline to play against. They're going to be doing great in teamfights, they're going to be doing great in laning, and a lot of their success and synergy from last year is going to carry over. And that also goes for Sneaky and Smoothie in lane 2. They're just going to do really well, and it's just going to carry over. These are very experienced players that were at the top of their game. I don't see them getting any worse. And one other thing is, C9's culture, it's already very set and very productive for them. I would say it's a very chill culture, and it starts from the top. Jack is someone that's very approachable, like cares for his players, and very flexible. And for Reaper, while he might have the strict Korean coach image, in reality, he's someone that actually listens to the players, makes sure they're comfortable, that actually has good relationships with his players. And I think that culture of everyone just being comfortable, very friendly and very chill is going to carry over, and it's going to be very easy for Licorice and Sven to just piece right into that and be a strong team from the get-go. They're not going to have any kind of culture problems in my opinion. As for the weakness of this team, it mostly comes from a lot of doubt about Licorice. So Licorice is a true rookie. He's never played LCS before, and LCS, it's a very different game. People abuse you in different ways. The 3-way top dive, there's stuff you just don't go against as a challenger player due to not enough coordination and just players not being good enough, and him being put onto this environment with a lot of pressure from the general community, from C9 fans. It's gonna be very make or break for him. And also, Licorice's performance is gonna determine a lot of what Svenskeren's able to do. If you're going to be able to play around top side, is Licorice going to be able to play some carry champions and do well with it? He's done very well with carry champions in the past during the Challenger series and somewhat in promos, but playing them on LCS once again is very different from playing them in Challenger. And depending on how well he does, Sven might be able to enable going to top side, or he might be forced to just play around mid and bottom and leave top alone, and it might disable C9 from picking top carries or picking top oriented comps. As for key player, you guys guessed it, it's White Chocolate, it's Licorice himself again. So Licorice needs to adapt really, really quickly. I just cannot stress this enough. Going from Challenger to LCS, the difference in the level of play, how people abuse you, how much eyes are on you, your salary going up, your Twitter following blowing up. C9 is not like a small team he joined. C9 is one of the best teams in LCS in terms of fan base, in terms of standings, and he's gonna have so much eyes on him. Everything he does is gonna be so crucial to C9's success. He's definitely gonna be a linchpin regarding how well they do. It's so important that he's able to play carries and keep C9 multidimensional, and just how well he does is going to determine whether C9 turns out to be the top team again and make worlds, or whether they struggle a lot. Closing thoughts. While a lot of teams blew up their rosters or upgraded in certain positions, I would say C9 side graded in a lot of ways. And they were also a team that was already at the top with such great players, they didn't really need to blow up their roster. I think Licorice is a very promising young talent, and he is a rookie, but he does have a great coach, great players around him, great mentors. I do think he will do well, it's just there is a question mark around him. As for Svenskeren, I think he's an extremely good player that was heavily underrated while he was playing for TSM, and he's just gonna do well. So while C9 fans, your roster swap wasn't all that flashy and all that maybe a straight upgrade, I think there's still very strong upsides to C9, and they're gonna be a team that's in contention to go to World, in contention to hopefully win a name. It really depends on how C9, TSM, TL, and CLG, all those rosters pan out. But you guys still definitely have a good shot, and you guys are still very much in championship contention. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, please comment, please like. It helps so much. I take what little free time I have to do content, and you guys helping out by subscribing and commenting helps me a lot. And one final thing, I'm not crazy, I'm just Loco. Peace.